Was cracking. You was outside in the snow today working them out today? Man. Yeah, everybody need a day off, man. Young Bull, what's going on with you? I see you getting that work in down there, fella. Can't wait to watch you play. Chilling, Young Bull, chilling, man. Just up here staying out the way, dog. Just staying out the way. You better believe it's gonna be. I know you up there leading them dudes, man. Keep on being that leader we talked about, man. All right, Kerry, I see you. Kerry, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Cool. Welcome to episode 68 of the Positive Impact Podcast, where we talk about all topics relevant to the game I love. It is 518 Friday. Every last Friday of each month, I pay homage to the capital region, upstate New York, where Positive Impact took off. And today's guest is Holy Cross sophomore guard Kerry Flaherty. Kerry played in a few of my All-Star games, but we'll get into that a little bit, but I'm excited to bring her on. So help me welcome Kerry Flaherty. What's going on with this thing tonight? Hold on, Kerry. We're going to get you on here. Having some technical difficulties right now. All right, we're going to jump off and come right back on. Something's going on. Oh, there we go. I got you. Hey,
Hello.
what's going on?
Not much.
Man, I got to have some technical difficulties, man, but I appreciate you getting on.
Oh, you're fine.
My goodness. So what's going on? I know you just got out of practice. How's that
Yeah.
going?
It's going good this year. I mean, at Holy Cross, they only took back the basketball teams and hockey teams, so it's been a little of an interesting year without other students.
So, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay. So, first things first, man. Like I said, it's good to see you, man. All grown up now. It's crazy. It's crazy. How first things first, like with this pandemic, I know the pandemic like shut your season down a little early, and now you're back up at school in a crazy situation. Talk about how you've been getting along during this pandemic.
It hasn't been too bad for me personally, but I mean, obviously not a great situation for anyone, but we're all trying to get through it.
Nah, no question about it. So, great career. Am I freezing up on your side?
No, you're not.
I'm good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, let's get right into it. Obviously, you know, a love for the game of basketball. Talk about your earliest memories of the game and how you fell in love with the game, who introduced you to the game.
Yeah, so I'd say around kindergarten, I went to a small Catholic elementary school. So we had like biddy basketball or whatever. So I played in that. And also my brother is 4 years older than me. So I would like always go to his practices and stuff. So like I would always be on the sidelines. So I feel like my dad and brother both introduced me to basketball.
Okay. And so, you know, like you said, you mentioned your older brother, you know, Rory played basketball too. So like, was there like a little competitive thing for you? Like, I want to be better than my brother because you're a tough girl. You know what I mean? Does that come from having an older brother?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, he could still probably beat me one-on-one, but you know, he's been pushing me my whole life, so it's been nice to have someone.
So talk about your work ethic. The one thing I knew about you from an early age when I was first introduced to you was that you had always had a great work ethic. Beautiful jump shot, we know that. So talk about the hours you put in, honing your skills and getting better every year.
Yeah, I'd say about like freshman year of high school, I kind of really started taking basketball more seriously. And Ray Crossman was the assistant men's coach at Skidmore. So props to him because even when I didn't want to get into the gym, he would always be on me. And we worked out like 2 hours a day every day. So
Yeah,
major props
that's
to
right.
him.
Yeah, that's right. That's definitely Ray. That's definitely Ray, no question. So 5 years of varsity basketball at Saratoga. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people are like, dang man, 5 years. Like, yes, as an eighth grader, played varsity basketball at Saratoga. Talk about your growth. So talk about what it was like your eighth grade year, right? You know what I mean? Like just being a talented kid playing varsity and then how your role grew each year up into your senior year.
Yeah, so I got pulled up midway through my eighth grade year with Dolly as well. And the program was not very good. So like when they pulled us up, we played right away. I mean, we really had nothing to lose because we were like at the bottom of the league. So like it was nice to see us like my senior year, we made it to the sectional finals. So obviously we made a name for the program and stuff. So I'm glad we could like I could leave on a high note coming from like the lowest of the lows for Saratoga.
Yeah, nah, no question about it. So, and then now you mentioned Dolly. So for a while, it was like this is the backcourt, the perfect storm. You know what I mean? You know, you got Dolly handling the ball, and then you got you on the wing with that lethal flamethrower. So you know what I mean? So expectations were always high for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Were always high, and you know you guys never really got over the hump. You know what I mean? But, just talk about your growth as a player, you know what I'm saying? And then also get into the difference of playing suburban council basketball, but then also now during the spring and the summer playing more competitively with the AAU programs.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was younger, I was basically known as just a standstill shooter, but towards my end of my high school career, I've been able to like handle the ball a lot better. So that's been helpful, especially like 10th grade, I think I switched to City Rocks with Coach Danzy. So it was a whole different game playing on that circuit of AAU. So I'm glad like that opportunity playing AAU was a lot different than high school, because like just the players were like insane. Like Olivia Owens is on my team. She's at Kentucky now, and like we just had a great team. So just the exposure I got there has really helped at the college level.
So when did you feel like, was there a moment, right? So you said like, I've always played. I started taking basketball a lot more serious during my freshman year of high school. Was there a moment or was there a time where you said to yourself, yeah, I think I can play at the next level?
I don't know if there was an exact moment, but I feel like that my sophomore year was a huge year for me in terms of like my confidence and stuff. So, and since I was playing, like I played on Capitals like middle school and 9th grade, so like we didn't get that much exposure. So like when I played City Rocks, like coaches were like talking to me, so I was like, okay, I could actually do this.
Right. And so, I mean, you're at Holy Cross now. Talk about your recruiting. Like, was it like only Holy Cross? Like, I know I'm going to Holy Cross. That's all I care about. Or was there other schools in the mix before you decided to commit to Holy Cross?
I committed really early. I think it was like the fall of my junior year. So, but I mean, I've always wanted to go to Holy Cross. So like right when they offered, I didn't feel the need to like wait.
Right. So you come from a Crusaders family too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's only right that a Flaherty is at Holy Cross. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, so you said you committed early in your junior year. So, a lot of kids like carry that pressure in with them to their into their senior year. So you kind of got it out. You got it out of the way, which kind of takes a burden off of a lot of kids, knowing like I'm all set going to school and everything. Now I can just concentrate on my high school. So once you got to Holy Cross, what was your biggest adjustment from your senior year of high school or just high school in general to now playing Division I basketball?
Just like the level of play is a lot different at college, and you can like prepare all you want, but you're never going to actually know till you get there. So, but other than that, I mean, just playing that high level AAU again, like really helped me join like the team and be fine.
What was the biggest adjustment that you felt like you had to make?
I'd say like just defense. I mean, it's huge at the college level. I mean, high school you can get away with just like not focusing too hard on defense, but definitely in college, defense is like the major thing. So I'd say that was like my biggest adjustment, just working on my defense.
So, all right. So now I'll have some little girls watching this podcast, right? Talk to me about body language. Like, what have you learned about body language and communication on the college level?
Yeah, that's key, I'd say, because you never want to look like you're tired. You might be dying, but you can't like bend over, put your hands on your knees and stuff like that. And like communication is key for like any like team sport. So just got to keep talking and everything will work out.
Absolutely. So now you're a freshman and you put that Holy Cross uniform on. You're sitting on the bench and now the coach says, Kerry, get in the game. Describe that feeling the first time that you took your warm-up off and you stepped onto a collegiate floor. Like, were there butterflies? Were you confident when you got in the game? Like, what was going through your mind that first time that you stepped up on a collegiate floor?
Yeah, so I actually got hurt early in the year, so I was like delayed till, I think the first game I played in was like in December, I want to say. So it was just like a long time coming, I feel like. So it was nice to finally play in a game, even if it was just for like a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So talk about that adjustment as well. So now 5 years on varsity, you probably can't even remember the amount of time that you sat in high school, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm always on the floor. If there's 32 minutes, I'm probably playing 30 out of the 32 minutes unless it's a blowout. Now I get here and I might be sitting 30 out of, you know what I'm saying, out of 40, you know what I mean, out of 40 minutes now. And now, you know, so what's that adjustment like? Like, because not a lot of kids understand, like, when you get to that next level, like, I have to wait my turn all over again. You know what I mean? Now it's a whole learning process once again. So what's that like in that adjustment? Like, and how did you handle that adjustment?
Yeah, honestly, I'd say that was probably the hardest adjustment to college is just, like, you know, you come from high school, you're like the top person, and then you just have to start all over, like you said. But you just got to keep working, and then hopefully in the future you'll get your opportunity.
So, like you said, like, we know you can shoot. Everybody knows that you can shoot. What do you think is the skill that you've gotten the most better at since getting to college?
I'm a lot more confident driving than I was in high school. So just like, I feel like that was probably the main other thing.
Okay, so let's switch speeds for a second now. So it's your freshman year. You're at school playing. Usually March is like that time of the year that you know, student athletes look forward to, college basketball players look forward to. It's March Madness. The COVID hits. Where were you at? Was your season still going on when the COVID happened? And what did your coaches say to you, and what was that like?
Yeah, so actually we had a semifinal game at Bucknell. So we drove all the way out there, had our shoot around and everything the day of the game, and then they're like, it's canceled. We just had to get on the bus and go back, and then immediately get out of our dorms and go home. So that was tough, definitely, for like the seniors on the team. I feel horrible for them to have their season end like that, but you know, there's nothing you can really do about it. But
nah, absolutely not. And so, you know, so now, like, you're at home and, you know, the world is shut down. Like, so now, like, did you guys had to do online classes for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, we're currently still doing that this semester too. So yeah.
So is there more of an adjustment now? Like, are you more comfortable with it now than you were when you first went home in March?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, Zoom is like, it's not great, but we can always, there's nothing you can do about it. So
nah, you have to make those adjustments. So talk about how you know, what did you do to like stay in shape during that time? Because gyms weren't open or anything like that. So what was your regimen like during that time?
yeah, so actually, luckily, I was able to get into a gym, so I never really had a time like without it. So I was able to like work out with the skidmore coach Joe Burke all the time. So I feel like I honestly feel like that was really helpful for just my individual growth.
Nah, no doubt about it. So yeah, you got lucky. You definitely got lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people without it, like, you know what I mean, and were forced to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Were forced to do a lot of things on their own. So what's the season gonna be like this year? Like, what are they telling you guys? Like, the season, like, are they talking about a bubble situation for the Patriot League? Like, what are the coaches saying to you guys?
So we just found out that we got pushed back to January 1st. So we have like no non-conference.
Ooh.
But I'm not really sure the extent of how they're going to work it out. But I haven't heard about a bubble yet. But I feel like that is something that has worked for even the NBA. So I could see that possibly being an option.
Wow, that's crazy. I definitely thought you guys would start up in November.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems so long to be like without the game, like, you know, competitively and everything like that. So during your practices, like, what are practices like? Like, are you guys wearing masks? Are Are you guys being tested often? How is that going for you guys up there?
Yeah, so I mean, the first we slowly got back into it. Like the first week was like just individual workouts and like stuff like that, and then like a few weeks go by and now we're like in practice, but we can't do like 5-on-5 or anything. We can only do 4-on-4. And of course we're wearing masks, and also we have to get tested 2 times a week as well, so.
Okay. No question about that. So give me the scouting report on Kerry Flaherty. What do I need to know? Give me the strengths of Kerry Flaherty first.
Let's see. I'd say probably 3-point shooting. Mm-hmm. I also have been working on my pull-up a lot and driving to the basket. So I'd say those are a few things I would put on the scouting report.
Okay. What are Kerry Flaherty's weaknesses? What is Kerry Flaherty still working on?
There's a lot of things I'm still working on. I mean, just trying to be more consistent, I'd say, both on the offensive and defensive end.
Okay. So now I want to get away from basketball real quick. So now we have the pandemic, right? And now we have this social injustice piece going on in our country right now. If you're willing to share with me and my viewers, how did your coaches at Holy Cross bring your team together when the murder of George Floyd happened?
Yeah, they're really supportive. I mean, because like a bunch of us, I went to protests and stuff, and even though there was like COVID was going on, I mean, if you just wear a mask and if you're passionate about it, you should go out and protest. So they're really like respectful of that.
Right. And how did that personally affect like you? So I'm sure you have African American teammates and stuff like that. Like what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just horrible that is going on in our country right now. I mean, I'm just trying to get educated, and all you can do right now is go out and vote. So
no question about it. So if you can think about like this upcoming year, so what are the expectations for this year for your team and for yourself this year?
Well, first off, we're hoping to get the opportunity to play in games, and I'm sure we will play in games, but I'd say since we're we lost a bunch of seniors and major key players, so we're all just trying to get back what our roles are in the team and just trying to win games. I mean, for me personally, I'm just trying to get out there and play my best and do what I can to help the team.
No question. And now I wanna ask some questions about you as a student athlete. Again, I think a lot of kids are enamored with playing Division I basketball, and I applaud that as a goal. But I also think a lot of kids don't understand the amount of work that goes into being a Division I student athlete on a daily basis, like in your time management. So talk about how you manage your time at college now and how different that is from how you managed your time in high school.
Yeah, so I mean, at Holy Cross specifically, we're really honed in on academics before athletics, but obviously it is hard to balance it at time, but just the structure of the day, with lifts and practices, if you just structure your day around that, it's easy to fit in time to do homeworks or get to a tutor if you need one.
Okay. So give me a day for Kerry Flaherty. Describe your day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. What is that like?
Okay. I'll do today. So Today I woke up at 8:30. Then I had class at 9:15. Then I had another class at 10:30. And then after that class, we had lift. And then directly after lift, I had another class. And then I had 2 hours to do homework and stuff. And then we went up to practice for 2 hours.
2 hours. and then you even found time to spend some time with
Yeah.
the old man. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. So I appreciate that so much. And so, what about how's your nutrition? Like, what are, you know, like how is nutrition? Because like I said, a lot goes into, like I said, like it's great. Yo, we got sweatsuits, we get sneakers and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but now it's like you got to be in the weight room. You got to rehab your injuries and things of that nature. Talk about, do you eat any different now than you did in high school? Like, are you more aware of like what you're putting in your body now?
Yeah, so actually during quarantine, I got a nutritionist because I just felt like that is like a part that people forget about, and it really makes a huge difference. So I like got a nutritionist when I was at home, and I'm still working with her today. So like that's huge. I mean, now I'm like, I used to never think about like what I ate, but now I'm like big into like eating healthy and stuff like that because it really does make a huge difference, even if you're just playing basketball.
Nah, no question about it. So you might have a game at, like you said, okay, so you brought up Bucknell. So like Bucknell's like not the closest drive from Worcester, Massachusetts, right? And so let's say, you know, you're playing Bucknell on a weeknight. Talk about what that's like. I gotta go play a game on the road, and then I might have an 8 o'clock class the next day.
Yeah.
Talk about that because I think when people think like, oh, athletes got this plush life and everything, but talk about like sometimes like on the road, I still got to get work done, and you know, professors ain't really giving me no extension the next day just because I had a game on the road the night before.
Yeah. So basically, say if we have like a Wednesday night game, we would leave after our classes on Tuesday and we'd drive out to Bucknell, which is like 6 hours away. And then we'd stay over the night there. And like our professor, like we would tell our professors in advance, like we're not gonna be in class on Wednesday because we have a game. And like they're usually like pretty good about it. They're like you know, it's fine. Like, but like, and then we have our game Wednesday night and we get done around like 9. Then we drive back. We get back at like 2 a.m. So then you have to go to class the next day. So.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't stop. Right. Like, so you don't. Your professors aren't saying, "Oh, you had a game last night. Yeah, why don't you just sleep in today?" And I think that's super important because again, I think that everybody feels like, "Oh, she's playing Division I basketball. Oh, she's catered to and everything." And it's not always like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like Holy Cross is like you're pretty much treated just like every other student at a school like Holy Cross.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are you looking to get out of your basketball experience? So when you first got into this, was it to say, I want to use basketball to get a free education? Or is there aspirations of maybe playing basketball on the next level, you know, overseas or something like that? Like, what are you looking to get out of basketball?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I just got into it because I enjoyed it and it was fun. And I feel like it never really was like for the money for me, like to get a scholarship. But I got like, since I got one, that's like great. But I mean, I just do it because I enjoy it, and I'd play as long as I'm able to if I could.
Yeah, nah, no question about it. And so when it's all said and done, and you know, you stop bouncing, the ball stops bouncing, like you're not going to play anymore. Have you given any thought, which is crazy now because like you're in college now, right? Like you were just in high school. Have you given any thought to like, what do I want to do after the game, you know, after I'm done with the game?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought much into the future, really. I'm just trying to take it day by day, but I don't know. I try to get a good job after college, I guess.
Yeah, no question. Have you chosen a major?
Yeah, I'm political science.
Poli-sci.
Yep.
Okay. What's the hardest part of college for you? Like, what's the most difficult thing that you've had to make adjustments to, right? Because we all have some type of adjustments that we have to make. Sometimes kids aren't ready to leave home, and you know, sometimes it's tough, you know, being so regimented. What was what was a difficult thing for you, and what have you had to work on the most?
Yeah, being away from home freshman year was definitely pretty hard, as well as like the academics are just so much harder than high school. So I'd say those two things probably.
No question about it. Like that's definitely a tough adjustment. You know what I mean? And you might not be playing as much, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So all that's a big adjustment, and mentally it could kind of take a toll on you. Like, should I? Did you ever regret going there? Like, do you know that you? I mean, it's only a second year, but do you feel in your heart like I made the right choice of being here? Like, what do you love about Holy Cross the most?
Yeah, definitely. I think I did make the right choice. I just like the small community feel it has. Like, it feels like a high school here, so that's what I wanted, and that's how it's going here.
Now, so how is the school? How is the school handling the COVID thing? So a lot of schools are, because it's about to be like peak season for the flu. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So is your school, like, a lot of schools are closing Thanksgiving break and students aren't coming back to like March? Is that what's going on at Holy Cross? What's their plan for students there?
Yeah, so they actually decided to not take any students back in the fall except for the basketball teams and hockey teams and
Okay.
just the international students that never left.
Right.
So we're able to go home for Thanksgiving for a few days, which is nice. But like when we come back, we have to quarantine for a week and like all this like protocol stuff.
Okay. So basically it's not, so okay, I didn't know this. So there's not kids, there's not really regular
No,
students on campus.
no, it's pretty tough.
Oh man, that's so it's just you and your teammates. So you
Yeah,
gotta love your teammates in this type of
it is a lot
situation.
of time.
So
Yeah.
talk about that too, right? So like, where you grow up at and you're playing basketball, like you always have your friends, you know what I mean, all the time in high school. And now you gotta come to college, right? And you're basically learning how to adjust to new people from other towns and everything like that. Like, what's that adjustment like? And you got a roommate that, like you just kind of every day you're kind of building a relationship with. So what is that like?
Um, yeah, I'd say more like freshman year was more of the adjusting period for me. And luckily I had a good roommate and we got along well. And yes, it was nice to have like everyone on campus. So now this year, I mean, it's not like the best situation, but we're just lucky to be one of the teams that was allowed on campus to practice.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? And so hopefully you'll get to play. Hopefully you guys will get to play games this year. Obviously fingers crossed from that. What do you expect your role to be this year, jumping from your freshman to your sophomore year? You're healthy now. What do you expect your role to be like this year?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, still pretty early in practice to get like a total feel on like what everyone's game is and stuff, but I feel like I'd probably be the shooter of the team and hopefully just trying to get into the games more than I did last year.
Right. Nah, no question about it. That's, like I said, it's tough in college, man. It's tough in college.
Yeah.
Nah, it really is, man. Like everybody has to kind of go through that. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you're handling it so well, man. And you've matured. You definitely matured so much. So as we get ready to wrap up, I want to do some quick hitters, I like to call them. So I'm just going to ask you some questions and you just kind of just give me some answers. So I want to ask some quarantine questions to you right now. So, is there a show that you're currently binge watching? Like, do you get time to binge watch shows?
Oh yeah, in quarantine, I definitely watched a few shows. My favorite was probably Siesta Key and Summer House reality TV.
Okay. Never heard of those. Okay.
Yeah, gotta watch them.
Okay. Favorite snack. So while you're binge watching, what is Kerry Flaherty eating?
I'd say Cheez-Its mostly.
Jesus.
Big fan.
Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna put you at the shooting guard. I want you to surround yourself with a point guard a small forward, power forward, and a center that you feel like you couldn't lose with. And it could be anybody. It could be WNBA, it could be college, whatever. But give me a point guard around you, a small forward, a power forward, and a center. And he was like, we won't lose.
Do they have to be women?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, my point guard, obviously Dolly. What else? Small forward. I'll go center. Grace Ann Bennett.
Okay.
Small forward. Oh my God, I cannot think of one right now. Shoot. I literally can't think of anyone.
It could be anybody. It could be a pro player too. It don't gotta just be kids from around the 518. It could be anybody.
Okay. Diana Taurasi. I'm pretty sure she's definitely not a small forward.
That's all right, but she's gonna play small forward
on
your team. Now she's gonna play small forward on your team.
Am I missing anyone?
Yes, you're missing a power forward.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say Breanna Stewart, probably.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm sure Dolly and Grace ain't got no problem playing with Taurasi and Stewart.
Yeah, I know they're fine.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be just fine. They're gonna be just fine. No question about it. So, if you had the opportunity to invite 3 people to dinner, man or woman, dead or alive, who would those 3 individuals be?
Let's see. Say, Barack Obama.
Okay.
Who else do I like? Oprah. And, let's see. Justin Bieber.
Man. You lost me on that one.
I literally could not think of anyone. I'm so bad at these games.
Oh, man. Nah, that's great. So my last question to you, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered as a player?
That's a good question. I'd say just that I gave it my all, and hopefully people can see that.
Nah, that basically sums it up. Nah, short and sweet and to the point. I love that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I'm so happy that you were willing to come on here and spend some time with me. It's been a long time. You know, I had to pull out the old picture of you at my All-Star game, man. Like, we go way back, man. And I'm so happy and so proud of how you've evolved as a young woman and as a player. And I'm excited to see what you're gonna do with your next 3, your 3 years in college. I'll definitely be watching. You always have a fan in me. Thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Nah, no question about it, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, be good.
All right,
do your work.
you.
You got
Bye.
it. Bye.